You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making Locked On Rays your first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And you can email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Ulises, the lockout is over. After 99 days, I think. 99. I kind of wanted them to get to 100 just to make it, nice and even. But it is what it is. The lockout's over. Baseball's back. And we're all joyous, I think.
For a sport that likes round numbers, 500 home runs, 300 victories, I think that we should have gotten to 100 just for that sake. But no, man, it's awesome. Lockout is dead. Few things out of this CBA came out that I think are going to be really good for the sports, inside the wide lines and outside the wide lines. Something that caught your eye that you were like, wow, that's pretty big.
I think just on the whole, the better salaries for younger players, right, and trying to find ways to enhance competition.
Yeah. With
the draft lottery. Look, I think the big thing for me is the increased minimum salary going to $700,000, and then it's going to increase by $20,000 each year of the 5-year CBA annually. I think that's pretty good considering it was $570K this past season, and back 10 years ago it was a $480K. I think that's a big win right there.
Yeah, and for those, of course, not just because they make it to the major leagues, they're going to get a $700,000 check, guys. That's a rate,
right?
So however many days you divide that that 700,000 by the 186 Major League Baseball schedule days, yes, and then however many days you stay on the roster or in the IL, that's how much you get paid. So if you get, for example, 2 days in a major league roster, if you're one of those traveling relievers that gets caught by the Rays for 2 days and then never pitches again, that's only $7,500.
Right. Well, also is the options being limited to 5 times per season, correct?
Yeah.
So no more. We should just call it the Lewis Head rule, quite frankly.
It's funny you say 5 times. And you mentioned Lewis Head. That's only 42% of the times that Lewis Head had to do it last year. So again, big thing happening there. The pre-R pool caught my attention.
Okay.
A newly minted pre-R pool where there's going to be $50 million of money that's going to be distributed to the players that are, again, pre-R arbitration. So I think that's really great. For example, let's say a Wander Franco or a Randy Arozarena, they could have gotten more money for their achievements if that pre-R pool could have been instituted in 2021 or before. So I think that's huge for players, for young players again.
I agree. I think that this is moving things in the right direction. The lockout took longer than expected, but I think the players got some things that they wanted. They didn't get everything they wanted, but you're never going to get everything you want in a collective bargaining agreement, especially when you're going up against the owners who, yes, they have something to lose, but even without baseball, they're still billionaires.
100%. I don't think that baseball fans that said, I'm never going to come back to baseball, or I'm all that negativity that we heard on the Twitter sphere. I think that's completely bogus, to be quite frank with you. There's going to be 162 games. The schedule got delayed by a week. It's okay. I don't think baseball lost any fans. They could have. But all that negativity that I think that you heard from baseball fans. Oh, I'm going to stop watching. Oh, this is the last straw. Yeah, no, you're gonna watch baseball.
It's just a lot of virtue signaling.
Yeah,
and there's too much of that on social media as it is. And
is there ever?
Yeah, I think that. I don't think that baseball necessarily lost the casual fan nor the hardcore fan in all of this. Yeah, we probably just delayed our paying attention to the sport for a little bit, but honestly, in a perfect world, I wouldn't mind having spring training be, 15, 16 games and having the season start closer to mid-April as opposed to March 31st or April 1st. I would rather the season start a little bit later and have less spring training games. And again, the full season is going to get played. And there's going to be expanded playoffs, which, Ulises, I know you're not a fan of, but you're a fan of it being 12 teams compared to 14 or 16, correct?
I would rather do 12 teams than 14 or 16. 100%, like that's enough. 12 is enough.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that they're doing two things that I love about the playoffs. And thank you for bringing it up. Number one, if you win your division with the best first or second record in your league, you get a bye.
Yes.
I love that. Love that. You don't have to do a best of three set if you win your division with the best two records. Now, the third division winner, who did not have the best two records of the other two, then will have to face a wild card team, but on their own home ballpark. Just like the best wild card will have all of the games in their home ballpark. I think that's fantastic. Look, you basically got there. You shouldn't get games at your home stadium.
Yeah,
I don't.
We've got more on this topic. We were supposed to talk about it on Friday, but let's be honest, peek behind the curtain here. We pre-recorded all our episodes early on. So we didn't know when the lockout was going to end. Okay. I mean, we legitimately thought it could have gone until May, quite frankly. So we got to think ahead and we got to bank some episodes. So
that's right.
Now we'll be more on a little bit of a regular schedule here, but just wanted to throw that out. Okay. We'll continue this discussion, but first we have to tell you a couple of things. First off, are you ready to discover your purpose and leave an impact wherever you go? Well, Mission Impossible is written and read by New York Times bestselling author and athlete Tim Tebow, and it encourages you to find your inspiration, pursue your purpose, and create a life for yourself that counts. Ignite a new spark in your life through this new inspirational listen. Mission Impossible by Tim Tebow is available everywhere audiobooks are sold. It's also, in addition to baseball, it's that time of year again as college basketball's tournament is finally upon us. From all the latest odds, contests, and player props, BetOnline.net is the number one source for all of your sports betting needs and info. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. So head over to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and actions. BetOnline, it is where the game starts.
Before we keep talking about the playoffs, I do want to bring something up on the pre-R pool. With you get more money now if you're a Cy Young and you're a rookie, or an MVP, first or second candidate. You get a certain stipulation of that pre-R pool. Of course, if you get two awards, you only get the one that gets highest paid. But I have a problem with this, because now writers should no longer be the voters of these awards, of Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, MVP. That should de facto be gone, because now you're messing with people's money and there's a conflict of interest if you don't like the guy. Because before, if you didn't like the guy, but he put up numbers, it's okay. But like now you have a certain power over what that guy that didn't give you the interview. I don't like that. We see that with how they talk about Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. They were offstandish and to the media, and some people didn't really like them. I know there's the steroid stuff, but we can also see that when you're a gregarious character, affable, friendly, like Poppy Ortiz, and you have the same doubts as other players, you get first balloted. It matters how you treat people in all facets of the world. But in this one, I don't particularly like giving that much power to the writers when there's money to be made on the other side by the players.
Okay, so what's your solution then to all this? Just don't have writers come up with these rankings and votes, give it to players, front office types, coaches, GMs?
I think it's within the white lines. The players know the game best. I'm sorry, they do.
Can they can't vote for themselves or their own teammates? How does that work?
Well, I mean, I think it's just kind of like what they do in the All-Star game. You can vote outside of your clubhouse.
Okay.
And so I think that would get.
Look, I think there would still be a bias there. I agree with you that there's going to be a bias and always will be among the writers and the media types, but I think there's a bias on every lens as well. I mean,
sure, but I feel like
if Ryan Baraki is a Cy Young candidate, is Kevin Cash voting for him?
Well, you know what?
Is Kevin Kiermaier voting for him?
I think ultimately that washes out.
Okay.
That washes out. It really does. But I just don't like the idea of writers having, if they're already the moral police, now they're going to be the money police too. Like, are we not giving way too much power to these BBWA writers? I would be much more comfortable with a Joe Girardi voting for an award when he's been in the game for the last 40 years.
Okay.
Than a freshly minted writer that's been in the association for 10 years and didn't get an interview. And now, I don't like it.
I mean, so at the end of the day, though, it's good that they've introduced this pre-R bonus pool. I'm sure there's going to be some tweaks and changes that 5 years from now, they'll look back and say this could be improved upon in some shape or form. Like, just as you don't like the idea of media types and writers voting for the MVP and Cy Young Award winners and so forth, I'm not a big fan of money being based on WAR. That hurts the relievers, does it not? That hurts some. WAR is, we talk about WAR a lot, and we have our name that WAR, and it's a nice way to kind of put everything into a box and say this is what a player is, but it also has its flaws too.
100%. And then which one are you taking? Fangraphs, Baseball Reference? Then are you not giving that? I understand. Yeah, I don't like it either. Either. It's very subjective to do that.
But at least I think, again, and guys who make the All MLB first team, All MLB second team still get a nice little payout too.
Yes.
$1 million, $500,000 respectively. Beforehand, they were getting nothing. They were getting no bonus. So this at least is a step in the right direction. And I would think that, I know there's idiot writers out there. There's idiot baseball players. There's idiots everywhere. Yes. But I think if Wander Franco, okay, maybe if he's not the best interview, whatever it may be, but if he puts up MVP-like numbers, he's going to get some sort of additional payday because you can't just ignore the type of production that he has on the field.
Good question. Well, I mean, we could say that to, the Hall of Famers, but I have a question on Wander Franco specifically. If you sign a long-term deal, are you even able to get some of that pre-ARB pool money? I don't think you are.
No, because you're not pre-ARB.
Right.
You've signed a long-term contract extension.
Exactly.
So I think, and that's probably how it should be. It's the guys who have yet to get that contract extension or to hit free agency to be able to capitalize on it. The guys that year in and year out will be making $700K, whatever it may be.
The Randy Rosarenas of the world. I do want to go back to the playoff because you did mention it. Yes. So I like the first thing. They win the division. You get a bye if you're the first two records of the league. Everybody else, then the best 3 and 4th record gets to host. I love that. I love that. The best 3. The other part of these expanded playoffs that I really enjoy is that all wild cards are ranked by best record, not divisionally.
Okay.
So that means that if all of the wild cards come from the AL East, then that's where they'll come from because those are the best records. Love that. I've told you this outside of the pod and in the pod. I hate the divisional baseball. I hate it. I abolish the divisions. Get rid of them. They matter not. In fact, Sully Baseball, who is the host of Locked On, our buddy from Locked On MLB.
He apparently isn't a fan of the universal DH, the one guy in the world.
Yeah.
I don't want him voting on the MVP or Cy Young. Just saying.
He also said, which I have to agree, if now there is no distinction between American League and National League, then let's be done with that crap and do it regionally. Make it so that travel is better. I would be okay with that. You know, I feel like there's so many things that you could do with baseball right now.
Oh yeah.
But it's a very exciting time. Lockout is dead.
Yes.
And with this new expanded playoffs, I think you should see the AL East dominating for a while now.
I agree. There's some other things with the new labor piece and the CBA that I want to just mention briefly. But Ulises, we first have to tell our listeners about couple things, including Built Bar, I think.
How did you know? Yes, of course. Built Bar. You guys know I love Built Bars. Kevin loves Built Bars. And we know that you love Built Bars because they are covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, you heard me right. 100% real chocolate. And they're also low calorie, high in protein. You can replace your candy bars with these because those candy bars can range from anywhere from 200 to 300 calories. When you have a Built Bar, most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, 17 grams of protein. That is just the way to go. And the flavors are just amazing. They have mint brownie, coconut almond, white chocolate cookies and cream, peanut butter brownie. I mean, the list goes on, and they're all delicious. So what do you have to do today is go to built.com and use promo code LOCKED15, and you get 15% off your order. So again, today you go to built.com, you use promo code LOCKED15, and you get 15% off your order at built.com. Also, you can save time and money when you use Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30, 50, even 100% more for the same parts of a chain store or a car dealership? That doesn't make sense. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Rock Auto prices are reliably low for every customer. They have everything you could ever need, like brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. So you can explore their easy-to-use website today to find the solution to your auto part needs. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know that Kevin and I sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com.
A couple other things about the CBA that I want to mention. We kind of briefly touched on it. The universal DH. Finally, are we both in agreement that that is something that needed to be put forth?
100%. I mean, we don't. These guys haven't hit since high school. Enough.
And now hitting's hard enough in the majors.
Yeah, and you've seen the average, the OPS, the on base percentage, everything, the slugging, all of it just go down since like the 70s.
Yeah,
it's enough.
Especially for the American League pitchers when they have to hit in the National League. I don't need Tyler Glass now rolling his ankle running to first.
And you know what? It's just for the aesthetic. It's funny, like, oh my God, Tyler Glass now has a helmet and a bat. Like, that's so cool. But we can't just do the sport because things look aesthetically pleasing for 2 seconds, because then after that, they roll an ankle and then you don't have that pitcher.
And again, it's going to make free agency more fun, and it's going to open up opportunities for those aging sluggers that no longer have a position, but definitely can still hit and stay in the game, a la Nelson Cruz, for example. It just kind of maybe increases his window for playing time a little bit.
I mean, did you even hear Albert Pujols is rumored to be being flirted or wooed by the Colorado Rockies?
Really?
I mean, I love this, by the way. Pujols in Colorado, just mashing, just like, hey, look, man, you're just here for entertaining value. Can you?
You're just here for a couple of ticket sales. We know we're going to lose 100 games, so you might as well show up and hit a couple bombs.
I love it.
Derby. Yeah. See, that's the thing is, the lockout being over was exciting for most baseball fans and organizations, except the Rockies and the Orioles. And
they're like, oh no,
the Diamondbacks. Like, okay, we're on our, yeah, it's great. We have spring training, and then we're going to really suck after that. So that's one thing, the universal DH coming into play. By the way, did I can't get a confirmation on this. Was the shift banned, or is that off the table?
I believe that was 2023, right? All things. Oh no, or the fact that if they change it, it'll be.
They have the possibility to change it, but they have not changed it yet.
Correct, and the rule changes have to be told to the players 45 days in advance by the league. I think that's effective 2023, just like the larger bases and the pitch clock. I don't think that's for 2022, but I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Okay. Well, also starting in 2023, schedules will become interesting as well, where if you're the Rays, you'll get to play the 29 other teams at least once. So it won't be more intra-division. It'll be more intra-league where you're going to get to face more National League teams. And I think that's fun for the sport to introduce you to, because we always joke about it like, hey, we don't watch the National League. We just don't have time. We're watching Rays baseball. We're focused on the American League East. But now we have an opportunity to watch some of the stars in the National League and on the West Coast and teams and players we normally wouldn't see.
Now you get to see the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's good. I want to see them. You get to see Wander Franco go against Tatis Jr.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yes.
That's good for the sport. So no, I think that's fantastic. Like I mentioned earlier, the schedule just needs to be rebalanced overall. Divisions, get rid of them. So I like that this is a step in the right direction. But no, I'm excited, man. I don't know which way to lean on what's been the most exciting thing that come out of this lockout. I think you're most excited about the advertisements on jerseys and batting helmets. That's what you're most gassed up about. How big are the helmet stickers they said patch on the sleeve. They said patch on the sleeve, so it shouldn't be that big.
If there's no, they really need to put some sort of protocols in place, because I could see the Rays going ham on something like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a league-wide issue. Thankfully. Not every team's going. I think the Yankees would have picked like something really tiny and
right. Ironically, it's only a matter of time before a sports betting website is on that little patch or that batting helmet.
And Pete Rose is just chilling outside the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's the other thing is now there's the big picture CBA things, but also players with this new CBA, they have the ability to, I guess, partake in promotional endorsement activities with these sport betting companies and/or casinos. So this is really taking it to another level, and good for them for the ability to make money and find another added source of revenue, because that is a big
new source
business.
I love that you say that new source of. That's what you need to do, and I know that Apple TV is going to be showing a few games, Peacock Plus or Paramount Plus. Whatever.
There's too many things out there. I just want the jerseys and the helmets to be like a NASCAR vehicle where like it's just covered. There's like 50 advertisements. You don't even who's playing? Is it the Rays and the Yankees, or is it is it WB Mason versus I don't know.
Hey, that's the Yankees. That's
versus Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's going to be. Yeah. With WB Mason against Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Look, it's only a matter of time before the divisions are sponsored. AL East, the whatever, I don't know, TD America, AL East, something like that.
AL East brought to you by WB Mason. I can blue team and red team this. Blue team, it's disgusting. I don't like it, and I feel like if MLB has done it without it, it can do it without it. I grew up in Winter League, and I saw how that evolved into where you're saying, oh, a NASCAR, you're not that far from the truth. I remember uniforms being cleaned, and as time went on, well, boy, oh boy, did they get murkier. So I don't like that aesthetically. Red team this thing. It's more money. It's more money for the players. The players should be okay with it. In every soccer league in the world, you probably have a big ass advertisement on your chest that's not even the team's name, and everybody still buys the shirt. Everybody still has a Messi shirt. Everybody still has a Ronaldo shirt. So it really shouldn't matter. So that's where I am. I can see one side. I can see the other.
I get it. Final thing on this. I will no longer believe. Well, let me just put it like this. My definition of deadline is completely different than MLB's definition of deadline.
Imagine if our college professors had that mentality about deadlines.
It's basically an optional assignment at that point.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, because how many times was a quote unquote deadline pushed back? Like
four for deadlines? 5 deadlines?
I couldn't keep track. Again, working in media in the journalism industry previously, a deadline is a deadline.
That's it. That's the
Sunday
one.
at midnight. That's it.
There is no more.
Yeah. No added extensions. We don't get extensions on this. This isn't construction.
162 games still. Look at that.
Oh
Rob
my
Manfred.
gosh. That's great. April 8th.
On our Locked On Now, we said, or I said,
rather, on your Locked On Now.
Yeah.
I didn't do any work on that thing. That was you.
I wanted to, the biggest thing that the Rays are looking forward to in this lockout is a right-handed bat to complement the rest of the lineup. Do you agree that that's where this lockout? Okay, the lockout is dead. What's next for the Rays? I say right-handed bat option. What do you say?
Do you mean their first? What's their first move?
Not the first move necessarily, but like what's needed? Like what needs to happen for the Rays to be successful in the 2022 season? What's the next piece?
Yeah, I would say their first move is probably trading a guy or two or three. Yeah. But yeah, right-handed bat. I think middle of the order thumper is what you're looking at right now. I agree with you on that.
Well, you can't have Nelson Cruz. Apparently, he's signing with the National League. So,
is that that's the thing is with everything contracted, all these moves, it's going to be like drinking from a fire hose, left and right.
Yeah,
so Nelson Cruz is signing with the National League. That's
the rumor. Hector Gomez put it out there that he is apparently being.
Oh my gosh!
And there was an interview a week ago. Very good. It was in Spanish, but it was really good for those that can understand it. Like he was honest, 100%. All the teams that offered me a contract before the lockout were from competitive National League teams, and that's what I want. I want competitive teams.
Universal DH.
So
that's where it comes in.
So where's a competitive NL team? The Dodgers.
The Rockies, the Diamondbacks, I mean, you're right.
The Cardinals, it would be really interesting to see.
The Marlins, I could see the Marlins maybe being in play for something like that.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Nelson Cruz has never played in the National League, has he?
In his first year, he was with the Brewers, and then he was traded to the Texas
Very
Rangers.
briefly.
Yeah,
because I've always known him as an American League guy.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
That is interesting. We'll see what happens. Well, lockout is over. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. And pretty soon we'll be going to 5 days a week on the Locked On Rays podcast. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thank you again for making Locked On Rays your first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On MLB podcast with our buddy Sully with the hot takes. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you soon.